At 6:30 in the morning on July 1st, 2018, a Burari neighborhood resident found his daily morning routine disrupted. The local grocery store, which usually opened like clockwork, was closed, and its morning delivery of milk and bread sat untouched on the street. He walked across the street to check on the owners. Finding the front gate unlocked, he pushed it open, walked up the stairs, and stepped into a room containing 11 dead bodies. An entire multi-generational household had been wiped out overnight. When the police arrived, they immediately braced themselves for a violent crime scene, but they found no signs of a struggle, no forced entry, and zero evidence that anyone had tried to fight back or escape. The Chundawat family, also known locally as the Bhatias, had lived in the neighborhood for over 20 years. Neighbors knew them as a highly cohesive, tightly knit unit who frequently volunteered to help others in the community.
They were financially stable. They operated 2 successful businesses out of their property, including the busy grocery store on the ground floor. Just 2 weeks prior, the family had hosted a lavish engagement party for 33-year-old Priyanka. They were actively making plans for an upcoming wedding. This absolute normalcy is what puzzled investigators the most. When a family is thriving, educated, and planning a wedding, they simply do not fit the psychological profile of a desperate group preparing for the end. Yet the bodies of the 10 hanging victims were discovered in highly specific conditions. They were blindfolded, their mouths were taped shut over cloth gags, their hands and feet were bound with wire and bed sheets, and their ears were plugged with cotton. The only physical outlier was the 80-year-old grandmother, Narayani Devi, who was found strangled on the floor in an adjacent bedroom. Security camera footage from the street outside quickly ruled out an external attack. The cameras captured no killers entering or escaping the property. Instead, the footage showed 2 women from the family voluntarily bringing plastic stools into the house just hours before their deaths. Inside, the 10 hanging victims were arranged close together in a very deliberate formation, designed to mimic the hanging roots of a banyan tree. The physical evidence pointed to a deeply coordinated internal procedure. These individuals had actively participated in their own binding. The investigation finally found its answer hidden inside the family's prayer room. Police discovered 11 handwritten diaries spanning an entire decade. The entries traced back to the youngest son, Lalit. Years prior, Lalit had suffered severe trauma, surviving an accident that left him with a head injury, followed by a violent attack that temporarily cost him his voice. His family never sought psychiatric help. Instead, Lalit developed a belief that his deceased father was possessing his body. He began dictating instructions to the rest of the family, claiming these messages were divine guidance meant to ensure their prosperity. This case report shows the exact breakdown of the victims by age. Lalit exerted complete psychological control over a large group, including capable adults. The autopsy findings confirm this control, noting no signs of struggle. Despite the younger men's ability to resist, nobody fought back. The diaries reframe the entire crime scene. The family tied themselves up because Lalit convinced them the banyan tree ritual was a temporary test of faith. They fully expected to untie each other and survive it, believing the ritual would grant them ultimate salvation. The official psychological autopsy concluded the family suffered from shared psychosis, a condition where a primary host's delusion transfers directly into the minds of healthy individuals. For a psychological contagion like this to spread, it requires an undisputed authority figure operating within a closed network. The host's reality slowly overwrites the rational thought of everyone in their orbit. This dynamic was protected by a strict cultural adherence to familial secrecy. The family maintained a perfect public image, keeping Lalit's untreated trauma and escalating demands completely hidden from neighbors and friends. That silence acted as an incubator. The hierarchy of the home prevented anyone from questioning Lalit's authority, weaponizing one man's mental illness into a lethal shared reality for 10 other people. When we step back from the clinical diagnosis, the tragedy becomes even harder to process. These were bright students and successful professionals who played cricket, threw parties, and looked forward to the future. Today, the physical house still stands in Burari, and those 11 diaries remain locked in police evidence, silent records of an interrupted ritual. They serve as a permanent reminder of how profoundly vulnerable human autonomy can be. In a house of 11 people, not a single person broke the chain of compliance to save themselves or the children.